Okay, you're live. So you probably should put your phone down. Awkward time when you're waiting for people to arrive to the party.
Well, not usually this early. Here they come.
We just got done a bunch of filming today, so.
Good evening.
Well, Jay Long, welcome. Welcome to the party. These are those uncomfortable first few minutes when we're just kind of waiting for everyone to come in. Just like I said, normally 8. So everyone knows that when I say 8, it usually means 8:15.
Venice Beach, Arizona. Buzz First Pistol, cool. There's an island.
St. Thomas sounds really nice right now. A beach, yes, to escape.
Florida.
Escape this heat in Texas. It's been brutal. As you guys are entering, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the stream, it helps out the channel, and gives you good karma in life.
Oregon.
Charles, you know what that heat's like.
He's from the Republic. Oklahoma.
Oh, you finally got rain. Well, that's nice. We're in severe drought. Our grass is starting to look like tumbleweed.
Oh, USP 9mm for a first gun. That's an awesome gun. That was probably my 3rd or 4th pistol.
Leon says, come on down. I would love to. I am a beach girl, for sure, through and through. Yeah, what is rain? That is, if you are currently living in Texas, you know exactly that feeling.
Brent's here. Hey, Brent. Brent, you got to check out Military Arms Channel's video he just put up on the Colt, the subcompact stock. The Hellion review is coming up. We just finished all the range, so I expect maybe next week we'll be finishing that one up and filming it.
Yeah, we filmed a couple of videos right before joining you guys tonight for the Q&A.
We did one on the FM15 by Fox.
In fact, that's probably why you can see all the equipment back there.
Yep.
It's still kind of set up from earlier.
We did the FM15 and we did an update on the Palmetto Armory KS47.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get started. Let's see if I got my audio cut out. You can message me later if you want. Oh, that's about Brent. We're gonna get started, and if you guys have any questions tonight, you can plop it down there in the chat line. And if you would like to donate and get a guaranteed response, we don't just take paid questions, of course, but if you would like to get a guaranteed response, we try to get through as many questions as possible, but the only way to get a guaranteed response is if you make a donation to the channel, or if you just want to make a donation to SAS in general, because that is how we fund the videos that we make, and we do the things that we do, and we appreciate it as always. You can do it with the Google Super Chat way with the $, and you'll get priority and get bumped to the top. Google does take 30%. We do prefer donor box. There's a link to the box on smallarmsolutions.com that you can use. That is very easy to use to donate. And it's the same concept. Just attach your question to the comment section. I'll get an email. I have my phone here, and you'll get priority over all the other questions that are rolling in. But here we are. We're going to get started. First up tonight is from John. And John is on donor box. Thank you so much, John. As someone only vested in the 5.56 platform for years now, if you were to buy only one 308 7.62 NATO rifle, which would you choose? LMT Mars H 7.62 or HK MR 7.62? And if not those, which else?
The LMT. That is, if I can only have one 7.62, it would be my LMT MWS. There's absolutely no question. I got the suppressor for it, and it just does everything perfect. 18-inch barrel, stainless steel, shoots sub MOA, no question.
Hey, Steve, thank you so much for your donation on Donor Box. Not have a question, but if you have one later
Thanks,
on,
Steve.
let me know, and
And
we'll pull it up. Dustin on Donor Box, thank you, Dustin. Any experience with the Colt SCW kit?
I was there when it was designed. It was designed by a Colt engineer, Greg Kichenko. Be perfectly honest with you, when I saw it, I thought it was a complete abortion. Um, you traded width for length, and you really didn't save all that much. You probably saved about half the length of the stock. You would have been better off just with a stock like the LWRCI small one. That's why the thing never went anywhere, because again, it was still huge. If you want a smaller stock, there's a lot of smaller stocks available that are much better. It was a gadget, but the reality was it was too big when you folded it.
Sorry if you hear barking. The old man to play with her, and yeah, it doesn't sound like it's going very well in there.
You have to see my man's mug. We got this with tits, the tactical incendiary travel system for a cigar on it. Got my arms mounts on here. We have a code for these for Battle Mug, which is 5% off, 10%.
10% off. It's code SAS if you use it and check out. And I believe they just got those back into stock because they have been out with all the shortages that are going on in the industry, aluminum and steel shortages and price increases. They have been out of stock of those, but they just got a big batch in. So
man's mug right here. This is a man's mug. This freaking thing is awesome. It's heavy as hell, but it is freaking awesome.
Yeah, so you get your bicep curls in while you drink. It's a 2-in-1.
Yep.
Hey, Adnan. I'm building an 11.5 pistol to know if there's anything I should avoid.
Depending on your barrel, thickness. If you're going with a lightweight, I would go with an H buffer on it. Make sure you have your O-ring on your extractor, so you have some extra extraction force on there, and probably get yourself a nice muzzle, like a flash hider, like a Vortex, because those suckers do put out quite a bit of flash because you get a lot of unburned propellant with them. Those are probably the big things that I would recommend, just as reliability enhancements on them.
Are the same Colt Canada rifles that you talked about in your videos the same ones Copper Customs have?
Yeah, so that is the only time they ever came into the country was those. I think it was 2 or 3 batches. That was it.
Oh, wasn't that the one that like completely exploded? And
yeah, I thought they were new. No, they are not new. Those are
well, wasn't there like some controversy around them coming in and people's pre-order or something? Was it that?
Oh no, that's different.
That was different.
Different.
Would a pistol gas upper cycle reliably on a rifle buffer lower?
Yeah, it would, as long as I would only have it on a 300 blackout. I do not recommend a pistol system for a 5.56 period, but certainly it would work on a rifle lower receiver with a rifle length gas system.
I'm working on an M16A5 concept rifle. What would be the appropriate gas block, PRI or Knights?
Last I knew, it was what they were looking at was a standard M16A4 front sight. Last I knew, they were doing difference was the addition of the Voltor A5 buffer assembly. The ones that I saw that were prototypes were basically just, again, they were A2s and A4s with that stock assembly. There wasn't anything different. They had the RASs on them, the M5 RAS. That's what I saw. I didn't see anything else. You might want to ask Brett Sauer about that. He might have some more information on that.
Robert on DonorBox, you didn't put a question there, so I'm not sure if you had one or not. But if you do, you can email it to me separately at hbartacci@smallarmsolutions.com. I know sometimes people forget to add it in there, but if not, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
I actually took his collar off him so that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, Rocco put it back on. Have you ever seen a Luigi
Oh, what?
Franchi? Well, this is Italian, and I'm totally gonna butcher it. Uh,
Frankie?
L5 or LF 59 battle rifle. The Italians went with Beretta BM 59. Do you think that was the better choice?
Well, a BM 59 was, I mean, again, it was an M1 Garand that was scaled down to 7.62. It was an excellent rifle. Mishiko William, he's done some videos on that, and he thinks that. I have never actually fired one or even held a BM 59. I didn't, again, I didn't really get into until like the AR 70 and the AR 7090 came out. So, the design for the BM 59 was already a proven design, but I don't really have any experience with the other one.
TS on Donor Box, thank you. How far do you think the CZ 75 would have gone in the XM9 trials had it been allowed to compete?
Not very far, unless they made some changes to it because they wanted the double single with a decocker, which CZ didn't have. Um, and they also wanted a more lightweight with the two steel frames. I think it wouldn't have gone anywhere. It was missing the key things that was needed. I think it was missing the firing pin safety. It was missing the decock. So I don't think it. I don't. It didn't meet the standard that they wanted for it.
Picked up my eighth USP. This one is a compact with an importer marked on the slide that's not HK. Has a BWB 156 marking on the slide barrel and frame. Do you have any info on those?
Well, I can tell you this. That specific one, I don't know. There are a couple of companies that I know that I've seen that have been importing guns, HKs outside of HK USA. HK USA does everything they can to stop it. For instance, I did a video a long time on a P8A1. HK never imported those into the country, and this guy got it from another importer. It was out of New England someplace. So there are guns that are coming in that legally like that. HK's doing everything they can to stop it, but it does happen. You should have a location, a city and state on there.
Kevin on Donor Thank you, Kevin. I want to buy my dream rifle, but I am tied between the H&K MR556 or the FN Scar 16S. Which would you choose? I'm aware that the MR556 has no chrome lining. Would nitriding the barrel benefit it?
I'm not a particular fan of either one of those. Um, the HK, you're paying the name. Again, you're not getting a chrome line barrel. The Scar 16, you're paying a lot of money, and I don't think you're not getting your money's worth out of it. You're paying a lot for a name. There are other guns that are just as good. Um, I don't know. I guess I probably would, if I had to go between those two, would probably be the Scar. But instead of the Scar, I'd be looking at a CZ Bren 2. I think is a much better gun for a quarter of the price. Of course, you have the LMT. If you want an excellent external piston rifle, take a look at the LWRC M6 individual carbine. That's a much nicer rifle than the HK. Take a look at the Caracal. The Caracals are available now. You're looking at an excellent rifle, which I think is better than the HK MR556, and it's got a good barrel, and it's reliable. It's tested throughout the world. It's actually a military weapon. Um, quite frankly, out of all those, I probably go with Carol #1, or I would go with the LWRC as examples. Of course, I'm an LMT fan too.
Yes, the which formerly was Black Rifle 2. The price increased. I actually did it very, very late last night. I increased the price. I had to. If you watch the video about it, the printer added 25% onto our invoice. This is a new experience for us getting into the world of printing. And I was under the assumption with an invoice that was signed and agreed upon and a pricing that was done and a book quantity and all of these things and papers and all of that was already detailed that was the price. Um, and I guess because of the evolving industry or all of the industries and the problems within the industry with the shortages, um, they had to increase it. I know somebody said, I think that that's a trap, that, maybe that, they're not actually, they're just, it's a way to, upcharge people, not us personally, but the printer. And I can tell you it's definitely not, because there's such a paper shortage that they're canceling jobs for the year. And we were fortunate because they've already done business with collector grade and have were they the original printers of Black Rifle 2. Um, they know the work and they know what it needs to look like. So they bump somebody else's job in order to put ours ahead of that. And I have looked at other more cost effective ways of printing it as a hardcover. And you're not going to get the same quality. This book is very important for us to maintain the exact same quality that it's always had for the last 20 years and continue to produce that through Small Arms Publishing, just as Collector Grade did. So that's important to us. And so this is a book that is library grade quality that you can have on your shelf and will stand the test of time. Something that, you can leave to your kids and will always be there. Yes, we are working on a PDF version. All of those things are coming down the line, but definitely go to smallarmsolutions.com. You can pre-order your copy of it in signed and unsigned. If you would rather Chris not sign it, it would be cheaper. Recently bought a stripped lower that's not Colt, but is clearly marked AR-15. Did Colt never trademark that? I contacted Colt customer service and they have no idea.
Yes, they did trademark the term AR-15. They did.
That's kind of funny.
Wow.
It's like really funny.
That's why you've never seen AR-15 on any other receivers. People, you see other ones, but actual AR-15 is a trademark of Colt. It's a legitimate trademark. M4 was taken from them because that was not legitimate. Wow.
You can't make that. You can't make that stuff
that shit
up. I know you made a video on the HKV tackle
pistol. If you want an American made or there you go with a couple benefits or a couple additions to it. It was an excellent pistol. We shot it suppressed. There's not anything I can say bad about it. It's a really nice gun. You'll be very happy with it.
Yeah. Please try not to re-put your question in multiple times, because I will pull it. I go up to the top and pull. So never fear. Thank you so much. Appreciate the importer, Amchar Wholesale, South Carolina. Maybe I can get info and follow up with you next time. Love your videos and knowledge.
I know Amchar very well. I've done consulting work for them for a long time. They can import stuff just like they import a lot of stuff. So it's a really good company.
Well, they were in Rochester originally, so Chris did a lot of business.
Amchar moved to South Carolina, Somerville. They still have a branch in Rochester, and they have a storefront in Rochester.
Adnan on Donnerbox. Thank you, Adnan. In regards to the next SHOT Show upcoming in mid-January, I'm considering attending for the first time. Any tips on how first-timers like myself could gain access to the convention? I noticed on the NSF webpage that they require documentations to prove if I'm a part of the industry. Curious to know your thoughts about that as well.
You have to be an FFL, media, or manufacturer to get in there. It's not open to the public.
You have to get like an invitation to
So you would have to know somebody who is a manufacturer, generally, who could get you a pass. That's generally the way that works. I get in because I'm media, and I get we hopefully will be at SHOT Show this year. I really need to be. It'll be either me and my wife. I can get two for us, or one for myself just because I'm media. I have a couple people that.
What if I go, but then I don't go to SHOT Show?
Then somebody else is gonna have a badge that says Hunter Bartacci, and if that was a guy, it wouldn't look right.
No, I just mean what if I go to Vegas, but I don't go to SHOT Show?
Do what you want. But it's the registration stuff doesn't really open until October. But that's the hard part, is getting a manufacturer who'll get you a badge.
Building a rifle, and I'm looking for the best 1-in-8 twist barrel, 16 at mid-length. What do you recommend?
Well, I have to tell you, Faxon makes incredible barrels. I'm very fond of Faxon barrels. If you do like chrome plated, you still have some. No, I don't think Criterion makes a 18. Also, if you want an 18-inch, I would get a hold of Mike Leclerc and get one of his Mark 12 barrels, Centurion Arms. We do have a code for that as well. I don't know what's in and what's not, but he has an excellent 1 and 7-inch barrel. 1 and 8 is also done by, yeah, I think it's Faxon. Probably Faxon would be your best bet for that.
Okay, Centurion codes are in the description box of all of our videos, including this one tonight. But I'm gonna plug into the chat right there in case you want it, because there's 3 different codes, and you could get 10% off.
I guess I don't know why you would want a 1 and 8. I think a 1 and 7 is a far better barrel, but FM, the rifle I just did today, the FM 15, that's a 1 and 8 mid-length gas system. I would say get a hold of Faxon.
John on Dotterbox, thank you, John. He has questions about the Larry Vickers book.
Sure.
And he wants to know, did you contribute to this updated version? If so, what substantive updates will we see?
Contributed. I was a co-author. Probably I did about half the work on the book.
Oh, we don't get royalties.
Yeah. Basically, what I did was, with the exception of a few sections, I wrote. I got a lot of guns sent over to James Ripley for him to photograph. James did absolutely glorious photographs. We had assistance from LMT because I put a lot of LMT stuff in the book. I was fortunate that Larry. I never talked to Larry, but working with James gave me a lot of leverage to put in what I thought was important, which was really awesome. And I was able to bring in a lot of new stuff to be represented. So pretty much all the text on LMT was me. All the text on Colt was done by me. But he went there and he got photographs. The Canada stuff was mostly done by me, and a lot of the Armalite stuff, and there were some other things in there. So I probably would say about half the work. Again, he did all the photography. I did provide a few photographs on some of the Colt Scar stuff and things like that, but it was a significant amount of work, and you guys are absolutely going to love it. It's like 300 pages. When you see the photographs, and you're going to see guns you've never seen before.
I will love it when I see a Black Rifle 3 or America's Rifle, the next one.
So yeah, you guys are absolutely going to love it.
Charles,
okay, go ahead.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Sorry, do you want to finish?
No.
Charles on Dotterbox, thank you, Charles. Wishing you guys the best. What do you think is the next book written about AK history, development, and design? I've seen a lot of books on Amazon, but the reviews are always a mixed bag.
Well, the thing about the AKs is, if you want to get the real history, you got to travel. Probably one of the best books is the Vickers series, because they went over to Russia, and there was people who were involved with that was really good. As far as current history is concerned, the AK is a dead end right now. If you look at what's going on in Ukraine right now, you see the fact that they don't fight at night because they don't have ability to use a lot of the force multipliers, night vision, thermal, and such. Most of the guys are still using iron sights. I think it's an evolutionary dead end right now. I think the next time you'll see a real book come out is when the AK is finally replaced with a platform that is equal to something that we have here in the West. As for books, the best books that I know of, the one was by Frank and Amico called the Grim Reaper. That is the best AK book. The one from Country Grade Publication, which basically takes the book, the AK-47 story, and then Blake does a lot of fictional stuff. But you're looking at some of the stuff that's more recent over the last few years, with the AK-12 and such. So I think probably when we hit its evolutionary dead end, a good reputable is gonna do a final hurrah to it.
Dylan, hey, he says he misses us. We miss you too, Dylan. What is your take on Biden revoking FFLs for one paperwork mistake? ATF is attempting to close the store that I work at. How will the industry survive?
This is the problem. Normal,
I can't even one paperwork mistake?
I've been through several ATF audits over the years working for companies. There's a couple of them that I did stuff with their FFLs. I was at Colt when they did theirs. You have to understand that this administration is doing anything it can to ban guns, and they're using ATF as a branch to do that, which is horrible. ATF, that is not ATF's job. Their job is to go in there. If they find issues, you fix them. I think that it sucks that they're able to use that agency against the people, which is what they're doing. Um, a lot of the auditors that I've met over the years were good guys. If they gave, if we had any issues, they gave us, a couple days or a day or two to fix, and then it was done. But we're living in a political environment now where the politicians, executive level, are using a federal agency to infringe on us, the public, and I think it absolutely sucks.
Sean on donor box, thank you so much. You didn't have a question attached. If you forgot to include it, just send it to me in an email. What went into developing the mil spec M16 M4 trigger? How did they determine trigger pull weight and spring power?
Well, trigger pulls for military rifles have always been between 5 pounds to 9 pounds, 5 to 9, 5 to 10 in that area in there. You have to have a trigger weight that's not going to go off accidentally. It has to pass a drop test. So you have to have enough engagement of the hammer to the trigger that when you drop it, it's not going to go. You're going to have much less of a shelf there. The lighter you go, and it's going to be more apt for it to go off. And again, you don't want a gun to go off accidentally. So it's basically been the 5.5 to 10.5, 12 in that area in there. They felt it wasn't too heavy, but it was not light enough that's going to go off accidentally. And of course, spring tensions are going off of setting cartridges off. If you use heavier primers, you have to have a heavier hammer spring. So that's based off of the ammunition that you would use. For instance, if you were designing a rifle that was going to shoot match ammunition that uses lighter primers, you can go with a lighter hammer because the primers are a lot more sensitive. You go in with a military primer, which is harder. There is a different primer on military ammunition than there is on commercial. They are harder because, again, you do have the free floating parting pins that when the bolt closes, you have a little bit of inertia. So you have to have proper springs. If you look at Glocks, for instance, those are generally 5.5 pounds for the standard versions. That's plenty in that 5.5 to 6.5 to make sure that you actually want to pull that trigger. Guys who are carrying around, their meshed out 1911s with their 2-pound trigger, that's a safety issue. All you got to do is breathe wrong on a trigger like that. It's going to go off unintentionally. So this is really, to protect against unintentional discharges and safety.
My brother was considering a twin build TG36. Is it as good as the H&K G36?
I had one, and it was loaned by one of our. I haven't seen Bolifa for a long time on here, but
No,
he was very generous and loaned it to me.
unless he has a new name.
And I have to say that the rifle that I had was nice. I mean, I didn't see anything that would make me feel like I had anything less than an HK. There's a lot of HK parts on it, but there is a reality here. If you want a G36, that's your only way you're going to get it. You don't really have any other options. But he does an absolutely beautiful job, and he can sort of configure it to how you want it as well.
First 308 rifle to get the job done. What comes to mind?
Well, depends on what's in your wallet. You can go to a lower end Diamondback firearms, their DB10. In fact, I'm getting ready to do a video update on mine. I added a suppressor. Those are around 1,000, maybe a little bit more, not much. Arrow precision is an excellent, reliable. You won't have any problems with it. The SIG 716, that's another really good one to start with. Then, of course, you're going to get into your top tier, like the LMT, Knights, Daniel Defense. Then you're going to I love RC Reaper. It just depends on really how much you want to spend.
Corey on Donor thank you, Corey, said, is there any way I can get you to sign my signature edition Vickers when it comes in next month? He's saying yes, but like, I haven't thought about how I would facilitate that. I will have to think about it and figure out how, because he says yes because he just has to do that, but I'm the one that has to like get it and get him to sign it, make sure that it's packaged correctly and sent back. And like all that good stuff. So
They'll figure it out. I'm sure they'll
let
do it.
let me figure out how to do it and what shipping on that would be, because I know it is a
Oh yeah, it's a
hardy
massive,
book.
it's a massive
I
book.
know it's a hardy book, so yeah, let me figure out what that would look like, and yeah, if there's interest in that, Corey, or anyone else, send me an email and let me just see what the interest is in it, and I'll see I'll see what I can do. It's not a no, it's just a let me try to figure
Yeah,
it
she'll
out.
figure it out. She always does.
Thoughts on PTR 91?
It's a very nice rifle. I did a video on that, but unfortunately, when YouTube decided to take us down a few years back, that was one of the videos that we just couldn't get in time to save. I will be doing another video on it. They do an absolute beautiful rifle. For as far as getting any kind of a G3, absolutely get away from that. PTR, if you want an HK 91 type rifle or a G3 type rifle, it is the only one that's out there. I think you will absolutely love it. It's good. It's reliable. It's brand new parts. There's a lot of American-made parts. They're made off of actual, I believe it was Austrian drawings. That whole thing is it's made off of the Austrian TDP. So it's an excellent rifle.
Stephanie's asking, will you add a Canadian shipping charge for America's rifle? I doubt the medium mail shipping covers it. I Another one of my tasks is to um, have a website that will be dedicated to our books and purchasing the books. Right now, it's on smallarmsolutions.com, but later it will be on Small Arms Publishing. Um, and it'll probably be a much more streamlined approach. But for right now, I would say in order to secure your book and make sure that you have one, just go ahead and do that. And then once I get down to the shipping and the sending out, because I get to do all that too. um, I'll be bench pressing
And
cases of
thinking
books.
about how we're going to store all these books.
I told him I was going to put him in his office. He didn't like
Yeah,
that
like how
idea.
you are. I'm here to walk
And he
along.
told me he was going to put him next to my bed,
Yeah.
make a wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll deal with that later, and whatever like actual charges to go to Canada, we'll deal with that as shipping occurs.
Of course,
But
I love my international customers, so we're international viewers, so of course we
yes.
will.
Joey wants to know, I'm thinking of having a 6.5 Grindle barrel made for an LMT Mars L, since LMT themselves does not make the caliber. Assuming the barrel nut connection is made correctly, Precision Firearms assures me they can do it without issue.
What
Do you,
caliber?
6.5 Grindle.
Oh,
Do you foresee any problems with this?
I can tell you this. I don't see LMT making a 6.5 Grendel. I think that Carl even spoke about that. He finds that we all find, I agree with him, that the 6.8 FPC is far more reliable and it's far more to the AR-15 system. The 6.5 Grendel, because of the shape of it and everything, they tend to have some feeding problems. So that's one thing that you may run into with it is some feeding problems. Yeah, they can do them. The barrels, as long as you know you have the proper barrel nut and everything they get from LMT, they can do that. It's not a problem. Um, Again, I'm much more of a fan of the 6.8 SPC myself.
Why does every other striker fired pistol but the P320 have a trigger safety? Is the updated P320 trigger just as safe as the others with this feature?
It's no different than anything else. If you want to fire the gun, you pull the trigger. I have absolutely no problem with the SIG P320. I carry now. I got rid of my Glock 42 and I carry a SIG P365. I have a holster that was made for it that goes in pocket. It covers the trigger. I have absolutely no problem with it whatsoever. Um, so to me, I don't have an issue with it. The U.S. military don't have an issue with it. Uh, you know, it- it's as simple as that. It only goes off when you pull the trigger. Um, that's my opinion. That safety can be disengaged very easily the way that it is. If somebody's going to go in there to pull the trigger, it's going to depress that. It's not going to save you from much because there's not much that it just it's a very little amount that if something's going to get caught in that trigger, it's going to go off anyways. I don't know. It's my opinion. I have no problem with the P365. or the 320 carrying it the way that it is. It's a much nicer trigger than the Glock trigger too.
Now that we've seen the inside of the NGWS MCX Spear on in range, do you think an AR-10 could have been designed instead? I think KAC said they would have made their bid in the SR-25, but didn't want to.
The military wanted to get away from this platform. There was absolutely no question. Could it be done? Absolutely. Again, I still question, the caliber for as far as the high pressure rounds, the 80,000 psi, and again having nearly 110 psi, 110,000 psi with the suppressor. I'm not a fan of the system. I'll tell you that straight up. Can you make an AR take it? Absolutely. Um, again, but the military wanted something different. They wanted something that they considered modular. They wanted something that they wanted a new platform. They want to replace the AR-15 M16 platform. I think that's what it really came down to.
John on DonorBox, thank you, John. I'm frequently deep in the Colorado mountains. I recently purchased a Glock 20 with Underwood 140 grain, extreme penetration, and counters with bears. What other ammunition would you consider for this purpose or Sasquatch?
If you go on, Underwood is excellent ammunition. Also, double tap ammunition makes some really good rounds as well. The solid brass bullets, the really heavy, they make up to 220. In fact, I'm reviewing right now the SIG P32010, which is the 10 millimeter version of the P320, and I'm looking at ammunition right now, and you see that there's plenty of ones that have the full 10 millimeter power. Um, Again, that 220 is a good one. The 200 grain, the solid lead bullets, but again, you have a Glock, so you can't use those. So I probably would recommend you go more with the solid copper bullets. Uh, Something that has a good that's not going to come apart. If you want to hold on another week or so, you'll see a video, and we're going to talk about that. I don't have all the information in front of me with all the different bullet weights and everything, but I'm putting that together right now to do that video on that SIG pistol. We'll do another. We compare that to the new Glock pistol, the Glock 20 versus the SIG P320 at 10 millimeter. So we'll be doing that as well. But stay tuned.
Yes, he buys these very, very big, thick notebooks and lots of post-its and color coordinates and tags to go over everything to keep everything straight. So a lot goes into
Yeah,
it.
there's people out there who they get annoyed when people are they're reading off of notes and everything. You have to understand how detailed this stuff is. I don't want to give out wrong information, and I can't memorize every velocity for every cartridge and all that kind of stuff. So I do use notes to make sure that I get things as right as possible. I do make mistakes on occasion, but um, you know when you want to give a lot of details, it's too difficult, at least for me, to memorize that kind of stuff. So I do use notes.
Oh, Joe says he saw you on a show he was watching last weekend. It caught me by surprise. It was called the Air 50 versus the AK-47.
Yeah,
That's the old one,
yeah.
right? Oh my
No,
God.
no, no, no. That's the newer one. That's the one that we did. They
Oh,
did
that's the newer
when we first
one.
got here. Guys that came in from
The
France.
Amazon one. Yeah, that one's on Amazon
Yeah,
Prime. There's another one, and a lot of people have watched it, and they don't even recognize that it's you.
yeah.
The younger
With her.
with hair. It was just like a baby face. Yeah. Like people don't even
Some of us
recognize.
don't age well. She ages well. She'll go kicking and screaming and dying and won't age.
Kicking and
Me,
screaming.
on the other hand, no, I'm aging. It's very easy to see.
God, that sounds wonderful. Um, I am new to guns. I was thinking of getting an LMT Mars 556 and make it featureless since unfortunately I live in California.
Dude,
What's your
work.
thoughts on it? Thanks for your comment on my HK USP9. Love the handgun to death.
I'll tell you what. If you're looking for a first and you're willing to spend the money, to me, you're getting the best that's out there. You know, I'm pretty sure they do make California compliant guns. I don't know how easy they are to find, but I know they do make them. If you're starting off, you're starting off with the best. As far as I'm concerned, that gun will do everything you'll ever want it to do, and then some.
Are the top tier ARs of today more reliable and accurate than those of 10 plus years ago, like Colt and Noveski?
Colt You would never, they were as reliable as they came. I don't think anybody made a gun that was better than Colt. To this day, to this day right now, the more of the top tier manufacturers who are making their own parts make guns that are just as good as Colt. There's not really a secret to building guns that work. You know the gas port size. You make sure you have your front sight base that is the proper diameter over the barrel, so you don't get gas leakage. You make sure it's aligned properly, and then when you make sure you have your carrier key that's properly installed, so there's no leaks. You have a good gas seal on your bolt, good rings on there. The gun is going to work. It doesn't matter who manufactures it. The biggest thing is making sure that all the parts are made properly, so the gun fits together properly, and all those things line up. So there's a lot of manufacturers out there who make guns just as good as Colt, equal to. In some cases, better using like midland gas systems and such. Some use different barrels. There's no secret to doing it. The secret is making sure all the parts fit together properly. That's why I prefer companies like LMT who do make their own parts, so they know what the tolerances are for their parts to go together. That's one of the things that I prefer about companies that build everything in house.
I've been offered first dibs from a range friend of his 1986 Colt H bar match, but the serial number doesn't show up on Colt's serial number lookup. I'm assuming he's is a green label. Any suggestions?
It's a green label rabbit. I have a personal affection for the green labels. That's my favorite ones. I collect those, and I do have one of those at one of the H bars. I Colts archives too. I can't say why they're not in the archives. It doesn't make any sense that something's not complete. But I wish I could explain that. But I have a rifle, an AR-15A2 government model that I can't find the serial number in there either. So I don't know. But those are absolutely beautiful rifles. Grab it up.
Did you ever work at Creekside Gun Shop in Bloomfield, New York?
No, but I went there a lot as a kid. As a teenager, we used to drive from Rochester, into Victor, and we used to call it Crookside because of the cost that they charged.
Oh,
um,
I think I remember you telling me
yeah,
about that.
they were one of the only outdoor ranges that was really available to us at the time. So we go out there. They made all their money on ammunition. That closed. That closed. I think that closed before I was even 18. But we used to go 16, 17 years old. We would drive, shoot at their range. It was always busy. Yeah, at the time that was the biggest gun shop there was in the area. Was that? But I never worked there. It closed before I started working in gun shop.
Did you get to see the photo of the improvised shotgun used to assassinate the former Japanese prime minister?
No, I didn't see that.
What do you think of the new Harrington and Richardson M16A1 reissue?
I want to see one. Uh, that's something that I got to work on. I want to see one. It looks like they did an absolutely beautiful job. I think they picked up where Colt left, but where Colt didn't, with some more of the details. But I'm not going to know that until I get my hands on one. But I'm dying to see one.
Why is the Colt SAS so expensive?
Colt SAS.
SAA.
Um, Again, there's one piece that's hand fitted on it, but it has to be by a gunsmith. So there is some personal or some manpower goes in. They do all this a lot of that stuff in house. They do the case hardened finish in there. They do the finishing in there. They do all the manufacturing there. Um, it is a fairly expensive gun to manufacture. I will give that. And I tell you, they're nice. I do have one. Mine's sort of a special one. A lot of guys at Colt, they did stuff to commemorate their time there. I had one that was built, and I had a custom serial number, CRB0408, which is my initials and the month and year I went to work for Colt. And I had my initials paint made on the back of it. It's basically a family heirloom now. Um, I don't think those guns that Colt makes are too far out of whack on price for what they do. The quality of those has never wavered. I don't think that you'll find any of the ones made in Italy or anywhere else that are as nice as those Colts. That's just my opinion. I'm not an expert on single action armies. There's probably some of you that are, but I've seen some of the other ones, and I don't know. I think Colt makes the nicest one.
I have a 5.7-ounce arm spec silent recoil buffer with a JP Enterprises low mass BCG. Do you think that buffer is too heavy to properly cycle with a rifle length gas tube and a 308 AR-10?
I would have an H2, or I would start with an H2. If you get a good ejection pattern, it's going around 4 or 5 o'clock. You're good. Most 308s do use an H3. That's what most of them use. Only on rare occasions do I see H2s. So I would start with an H2, check it out your ejection pattern, and if it's still shooting forward, I would go with an H3.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I have to go feed this man right here.
Thank you all very much, and we will see you next week. You guys take care.